Gear up for baseball season with It's Outta Here, 9 innings of one-act plays inspired by our national pastime. Performances throughout the Twin Cities and Wisconsin run March 5th through April 18th. Minnesota is in a fiscal crisis, no doubt about it, and the arts are going to take a hit, at least as far as state budgeting is concerned. But it's Arts Advocacy Day today, and that means artists, arts administrators, and people around the arts throughout the state are descending upon the state capitol to talk with their legislators about the importance of the arts in their areas, economically, culturally, and in terms of the identity of the state. Well, I live in Minneapolis, and I have a lot of progressive politicians who are definitely on board with arts funding. So I decided to go into the offices of Republicans in the House of Representatives and the Senate, talk with them about where they stand in terms of the arts and how they intend to stand up or not to Governor Pawlenty's proposed 33% cut to the State Arts Board budget in the next biennium. So step with me onto the other side of the political aisle on this edition of 3 Minute Egg. So how would you vote? I mean, what would you do if the governor insisted on a 33% cut to the Arts Board budget? I mean, what would you do personally? How would you respond?
Well, I don't know how this would all be incorporated in things we're going to vote on. If this is something we'll vote on, all by itself, that gives you some opportunities to say, no, I don't like this. If they throw it into another package of cuts, some of those are very necessary and unavoidable. That puts you in a tight spot. So I don't know how this is going to all work.
When our folks were here talking to me about that, they presented me with a list of the grants in District 26. I'm amazed at how many grants there are. And it's amazing how much money has actually come into Senate District 26.
Why is that surprising in a sense to you?
Well, because truly, if you are not ingrained, if you don't partake because of your schedule or your lifestyle, you're unaware of how much of the money's come back to your district.
Is it harder to stand up for the arts when the governor right now is calling for a 33% cut in the State Arts Board budget and elimination of the Arts Board entirely in 3 years?
I view that as being a legal action in that it says that you can't supplant normal funding.
Right. So
if it was normal funding that he's taking away, that's against the constitutional amendment.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Is it hard psychologically when you're having to cut dollars, go, well, boy, this money is there, maybe we should shave more off of a certain...
It's tough because it does commingle, it does intermingle, no different than water quality from the water budget and the budgeting we've been doing traditionally for water. To not go to this this pot of money that's coming in right now. So, but it's 25 years, we're only into our second year. From arts to the environment. If the recession starts coming back, we'll get back on track, and hopefully we can not have to worry about protecting that all over state government.
A board, whether it's the nursing board, pharmacy board, arts board, they're going to get a little heavier cuts because even though there's something that's wanted, they're not needed for survival or public safety.
I guess it's how you define survival. Right, it's not life or death survival in that way, right?
No.
But but because they disperse the money out to people who do need it for their survival.
Not necessarily.
Well, it goes out to individual artists. It does.
It does. But there's also the private sector where individual artists can, get money or do a mural or something and get paid money from the private sector. There's all those other things.
You are doing your due diligence when I first got here. I can't remember what the issue was, but there was an issue with the Five Wings Arts Council.
I remember us talking about that.
There was some kind of an issue, and then
they didn't receive a grant, essentially.
Right. Yeah. And so then after that, I started getting handwritten letters saying thank you for the grant, and and letting the legislators know how important that is to actually to their area, the community, and the kids, and students, and so. Yeah.
I think, and that issue actually was an accountability issue. We didn't grant out the money. Yeah. Don't need to go into that, but that's how we're good stewards of those funds as well.
As Governor Carlson used to like to say, Minnesota with the arts would be like living in a cold Des Moines.